had been talking with a pastor friend of mine who works at the city, and he's a pastor, and he had a little church down in Mansfield. And he said, every year in the spring, I had relatives from Virginia came down, and we went to Tellico Plains, up in the mountains, and trout fish. Every during the summertime, during about the middle of March through about July or August, they stock this stream every week. It's called a put and take stream. They put them in, you take them out. And you have to have a little permit. You have to spend a little extra money to fish on this particular stream. And we always, every year we fish Saturday. They close the stream down on Thursday and Friday, and you fish from Saturday to Wednesday. And every week they close the stream down and restock it. So we get there on Friday night and fish Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then they go back to Virginia and come home. And he said, "You're coming down on the fishing trip." I told him about it. He said, "Why don't you come by the church, on Sunday morning? There's a man in here who's got prostate cancer." I said, "Okay." I did. Took me a suit on a fishing trip, which I never did before, but this is the kind of suit church. And got there, and they called this man down front. He's scheduled, he's going to surgery the next morning. His prostate removed. Laid hands on him, did the same simple prayer. Next morning, went into the hospital. They re-examined him, took another shot at it, another look at it. Guess what? No more cancer. The next morning, he was getting ready to go under the knife.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Jesus. That's right.
See, cancer doesn't mean anything to God.
Mm-mm.
God can create man out of the dirt. What else can he do? It's nothing is impossible, right?
Right.
Nothing. I mean, I can't wait to see. Here's one thing I've got so many things that I'm looking forward to. Is when somebody's got their arm cut off here.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you pray for
That's
them.
right, Jack.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my, yeah.
Or the eyes open. Yes.
Smith Wigglesworth did it.
Yes, he did.
He told a man with 2 peg legs
Yes, he did. To go get
to go
shoes.
down tomorrow morning and get a pair of shoes.
Yeah.
The man walks into the store, sits down,
Yeah.
picks out a pair of shoes, puts them on the floor. He sticks his peg legs into it and
Yeah.
legs for him,
That's
boom,
right.
and feet for him, and he walks out
Yep.
with a brand new pair of shoes
Right.
on legs and feet.
Yep. That's true. Wow.
I want to see that to be commonplace.
Yes.
I want to see it.
Let us see.
I saw a video. I've seen videos. A. Allen,
Oh yeah. Oh,
who was a healing
yeah.
minister back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, in that era,
Mhm.
in the Philippines.
Yes.
You can go to YouTube and look at the videos.
Yes.
He'd bring up a little girl in the pulpit
Yeah.
and sit them down the pulpit with her legs out, and you'd
Yes.
see one leg like here and the other leg like here, and he'd just lay hands on her, and you'd watch that go just like that. And this leg that was short was real thin. The muscles were thin.
Mm-hmm.
Not only did it go, the muscles went,
Yep. Yep.
and she jumped off and ran off. They run off with 2 good legs. I mean, you could see it, and there's no Photoshop in it. These are black and white old videos.
Yes.
There's a video of a girl over at Morningstar. Her arm was short and crooked, handicapped. And they're videoing, and all of a sudden she starts screaming. And they put it on her, and her arm straightens out. And I mean, it was that much shorter than the other one. She's like this, ah! You know, screaming, ah! Looking at her arm while it goes, and she's looking at it. Yeah. Okay. It's coming.
It's coming.
We're going to get to see some cool stuff. But you got to give it a shot. You got to do it. You got to get in the game to win the game. You got to be a participant, not a spectator, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, and it's more than just the physical healing, it's everything too.
Yes. Yes. Amen.
I guess I'm going to hurt my story, but the most powerful session with God that I ever have experienced happened at the jail in Anderson County. I had received a notice. I'm a chaplain with the sheriff's department. I, up until the COVID thing, when they shut the jail down, I was going there. I'm going to return. I go there every Friday and minister inmates from 1 to 5. And I'm over there, and I got a notice request to come see 2 inmates. And I went to search these 2 inmates, and one of them was going to court unexpectedly, and the other was going out on work detail unexpectedly. So they both were gone. When I found that out, I turned to leave out of the pod, and off to my right, as I turned, the first cell, there was guys going, bam, 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 bam. I went over there. He said, there's a man here who wants to become a Christian. Can you help him? I said, well yeah. How did I got here? Guy comes out in a wheelchair. We wheel him in. We go into the meeting room, close the door, just him and I in there, and I back him over into the corner outside everybody. And I said, what's up? He had come from Ohio to Tennessee. He was trying to buy pain meds. He was not a drug addict person who just experimented with drugs or just started playing with them. He was a competitive weightlifter. At one point in time, he had the state record in Ohio for bench press. Bench press is where you lay down on your back and you got the steel. There's a support thing here, and you lift the weight up off of it and you bring it down in your chest and push it back up. Like 630 pounds. Oh, 300 pounds is stout. Oh, Lord. Yeah. If you can bench press 300 pounds, you're stout. He's bench pressing over 600 pounds. He weighed around 300 pounds, big guy. Now he's down to about 250. And he works on some kind of delivery truck. He jumped out of a truck one day and broke his ankle, his right ankle. And they put a cast on it, and somehow it got infected, and they went up having to amputate it. Oh. And his leg's gone. That's why he's in a wheelchair. He's amputated right below the knee. And he's sitting there, and he's really intense and upset. He said, I really don't want to be, I got addicted to pain medication because of this injury. He said, I don't want to be addicted. I've been in this jail, and I've got off of it, and I'm scared to death. As soon as I get back to Ohio, I'll go right back into it again. He's desperate. He was desperate. That's a good thing.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I look at him, and he's got tattoos up and down, sleeve tats up and down his arms. On this arm is flames and the devil and hell, and this is clouds and an angel. I forget which arm was which, but over here it said fear, F-E-A-R. Over here it said love, L-O-V-E. Mm-hmm. I thought, dude, you're like stuck in the middle. What is with this? You know? He'd never gone to church. He wasn't a church kid. He wasn't raised in church. He'd gone to church maybe once or twice with a pretty girl, asked him to come out on a Wednesday night to eat pizza. You know, when you're a guy, no matter what kind of guy you are, you go to church with a pretty girl, right? You're going to eat some pizza. You get suckered in real quick. And that's his church experience. So I said, I only know one thing to do, and that's explain to you the way of salvation. And I did. I've got a really good, simple, down-to-earth, plain message about anybody can understand it, about getting saved. And I got to the end of it. I said, you want to pray the prayer? He said, yes. And he prayed the prayer. And when he got done, tears started trickling down the outside of his face. And he said, man, I feel peace right now like I've never felt in my life. And he said, and I hadn't cried since I was 10 years old. And tears trickling down his face. And I said, what else is going on? He said, I don't want you to think I'm crazy, he said, but he said, I take this medication like Zoloft or something like that for your brain chemicals, whatever, just kind of settles you down. And he said, I've been off that this week, and he said, I saw Joker yesterday. I said, who's Joker? He said he was standing outside the window looking in at me, and he came inside and he went upstairs and he was walking behind the jailer, dancing and doing all kinds of stuff behind the jailer. I said, what's Joker look like? And he said, oh, it's about this 4 foot nothing with big ugly nose and scraggly hair. I said, and he was in here. I said, well, that's a demon. I said, would you like to get rid of that? I said, when did you get that? And he said, I was molested as a child by a neighbor boy who'd been molested by his father, who in turn molested me also. I said, would you like to be rid of him? And he said, yes. I laid hands on him and said, in the name of Jesus Christ, I come against you, Joker, and I command you to go in the name of Jesus. Yeah. And he went like this. He's sitting there and he goes, whoa, man, this is freaking me out. And I said, what? He said, Joker's right here. He said, and he's talking to me. He's telling me not to listen to you. I said, I pull out my sword, Joker, and I stick my sword down your throat, and I command you to be silent. I said, now go. And he goes, whoa, dude, you're freaking me out, man. I said, what? He said, Joker was right here. He said, I saw Joker look up. A big sword came down his throat, and he went, poof.
Woo! Sorry. Because I know that's true.
Thank you, Jesus.
Whoa. Lord, Jesus.
I said, well, he's gone.
Excited, Patty. That was cool.
No,
I said, you don't have to worry about him anymore. I
No.
said, he's just a little harassing demon with scare a little boy to death.
Yes.
I said, he's nothing but a little harassing nothing.
Yes. Yeah, because I know, yes.
I said, he's gone. And I said, he's not coming back. That's the end of that story.
Yes.
I said, now, what else is going on? He said, well, I've got this pain in my back. I laid hands on his back. No pain left. I said, all right, tell me about this situation with the molestation. He explained it a little bit in detail. And I said, I did the apostolic with him.
Yep.
When you go back in a moment, ask Jesus to come in. He did. He's back in a moment. Jesus comes in, talks to him, explains things to him. And then as Jesus goes, Jesus says, and I love you. And all of a sudden, he's weeping and slobbering and snot. He said, Jesus loved me. He said, he loved me. And he's just bawling his eyes out. Okay. And I said, okay. I mean, he got himself kind of settled. And I said, go back to that memory. And I said, how do you feel now? He said, I feel fine. I said, did you have anything else traumatic happen to you as a boy? And he said, yeah. He said, one day I was at school and I got in a fight and I lost. Came home. I'm standing in the driveway. My dad looks at me and sees that I've got beat up. And he said, what happened to you, boy? He said, well, I got in a fight and I got beat up. And he said, my dad proceeded to beat me and kick me and throw me down. And when he got done, he said, now, boy, the next time you lose a fight, you come home, this is what you're going to get every time. How would you like your dad to treat you that way? No. He said, I never lost a fight at school after that. The apostles, Jesus took care of it. And he said another time he was when his parents had separated, had divorced, that his mom's boyfriend was beating her up and he couldn't stop it. And we did the apostle on that and God took care of that. And I said, is there anything else? And he said, I've got hearing loss in my ears when I played football. And I think in high school and college, I kept getting banged in the head and I've got loss of hearing. I laid hands on his ears. He got his hearing healed. And I thought, and then he looks up at me and he goes, man, I said, wow. I said, so what? He said, the whole room is glowing golden and you're glowing. I said, it's okay. I said, you got exposed to the spirit realm through this demon. I said, now you're seeing the spirit realm, how God.
Yes, angelic. Yes.
God's spirit realm.
That's right.
I said, because you're able to see into that realm a little bit. I said, it's okay. And in my entire Christian life, I've cast demons out. I've led people to the Lord.
Yes,
I pray for people to be healed. I pray people to get inner healing. But in 2-hour session, that man got a complete, utter overhaul. Inside and out. I mean, complete overhaul. I mean, I don't think I've been looking back on it. I said, I should have prayed for him to get the baptism of the Holy Spirit. When I look back on it, I thought, man, he should have, that would have been the icing on the cake. Because it's a pretty big cake already. I thought about it later. I said, man, I bet he got zapped with that too if I'd have prayed for it. The way it was rocking. I mean, God was really working on that guy. Now, I hope that he went back to Ohio and tore the place up. Because with that kind of a testimony, surely to goodness, hopefully he's an evangelist somewhere. I'll learn about.
Yeah.
That he went up to Ohio and just tore the place up. That was my prayer for him.
Yeah.
So that was almost overwhelming to see all that happen at one time.
Yep.
Especially when you get to make a demon go boom,
Yeah.
get
I've
vaporized.
seen it. Yeah, it's true. Yes.
When I retired from the police department in October of 2011, it was in November, I got a call up at the jail to minister to a guy. And he said, by the way, he said, nobody ever comes and teaches to us or doesn't, then would you consider doing that? I said, okay. And that's how it started with me going to jail. This inmate asking me to come. The second week I was there, I'm teaching a lesson, get done. I said, anybody need prayer for anything? The guy holds his hand up, said, I've got lung cancer. I went over, laid hands on him, simple little prayer. Curse at the roots, command drive it out, Amen. I couldn't be there the following week, and 2 weeks later I come back and open the door of the classroom, and they all come filing and all got these big smiles on their faces. What's going on with you guys? He said, we got something to do, we got something to do. I said, what? He said, well, while you were gone, he said, that remember that guy you prayed for that had lung cancer? Yeah. He said he had to go for a doctor's visit to examine him and no more lung cancer. I said, and then he got out on bail. He's not here now. I never got to see him again. So that's the third person. There was another lady at church I was going to, the Assemblies of God Church. One Sunday morning, pastor's wife comes over and says, Jack, come over here. You need to pray for so-and-so. I did. And the lady had a lump on her breast, and they were going to do a biopsy. And they thought pretty sure it was cancer. I prayed for her. She was back, no more lump. They didn't have to do a biopsy. It was gone. So don't know confirmed if it was cancer, but they felt it was. But that's 4 people that I know of. God's healed cancer that I've got to witness, okay? Everybody thinks cancer is a big deal. It is if you're the, you know the difference between major surgery and minor surgery? If it's yours, it's minor. If it's mine, it's major.
Good going.
Uh-huh.
Run that by you.
That's good.
Difference between major surgery and minor surgery.
I got it. That's good.
If it's yours, it's mine. If it's mine, it's major.
Woo.
That's
That's good. That's true.
I smell a really strong, sweet smell over here. It's like strawberries and fruit.
I smell it
What
too.
is it?
I smell it.
It
too.
is like fruit.
Did somebody do something?
It's that she done lotion.
Oh, it's
After
my,
we
it's
did.
my hand sanitizer.
Did you do it?
Wow.
Okay, yeah, it was the Holy Spirit.
We were taken up with the spirit there, man.
It's strawberry pound cake.
Okay.
Now, injuries, okay. If you've got some kind of illness that is a result of a trauma that happened to you as a child, I could lay hands on you and fight and fight and fight and fight and fight. But if something happened to you as a kid, let's say your parents harshly punished you, and you thought to yourself, you're like 5 years old, and you don't know anything about the legal system involved, how demons operate on the legal system. Satan is legalistic. If the words come out of your mouth, you can give the permission to them to harm you.
Yes.
And if you go, what my parent did to me was wrong, and when I grow up, I'll never do that to my children.
Yep, that's true.
You just made an unrighteous judgment and an unrighteous vow. But guess what? Now, this is Jack's opinion. You know how we have guardian angels? The Bible says we do. I think we also are assigned demons at the point of birth, or maybe before. There's plenty of them, and they've been around for a long time, and they grow up and hound you until you die, and then they get somebody else.
Hey, Jack.
I think they,
What's an unrighteous judgment like?
Because you're judging your parent, and you don't know all the circumstances.
Okay.
You don't understand,
Yeah, okay.
their assessment of the situation.
There we go. Okay.
But you don't know any better. But the demons, they could give a hoot. They love it when you say something stupid like that, because then they have a right to whisper in your ear and convince you of a lie.
That's true.
You believe it,
That's true. true.
And then they got a hook in that trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Yep.
as an adult, you may reason it out and go, I'm sure I did something wrong, I deserve that. But the little boy inside you is still convinced of what occurred as being wrong, and I'll never do that. Most of the time when you do that, you grow up and do the very same thing you said you wouldn't do.
Right.
Because it's an unrighteous vow.
Yeah.
Unright, okay. And you wind up doing it. Just what you said you weren't going to do.
It doesn't make much sense.
What?
What
Yeah,
you
huh?
said.
It's
It's-
true.
It's
I did it.
true. Because I've been through it.
I'm sorry
Yeah.
to interrupt,
It's-
but
yeah.
I've been through it.
Because it's an unrighteous vow
Yes.
made on an unrighteous
Okay.
judgment. Go ahead, you
Can I
explain
explain
it.
a little bit?
You please.
So the Bible does tell us to be humble and not judgmental. But if, as a child, we could be judgmental, what he's trying to say, we were judgmental against our parents. And not only were we judgmental against our parents, we also made a promise or vow, I'm not going to be like that.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, the focus then becomes inside you, I'm not going to do that. And you're focusing on it so much that you create it.
Yes.
You
that doesn't make sense.
It's true. It's
It
true.
doesn't, no, it
I've been
defies
through it.
logic. What you're saying is it's not
I've been
logical
through
to
it. It's
do
true.
that,
Right.
right?
Yeah, because you
Hey,
telling yourself I won't.
Yeah.
well, too, we
In
make
your
an unrighteous judgment because we don't even know what our parents went through
Right.
for that to happen to us.
Yeah.
And it's not right.
Yeah.
That part about what you said about you're saying, I'm never going to do that.
Yes.
You're not greater than God. You're saying, in my own strength, I will never do that. Well, that opens the door for the enemy.
That's
Because that's
true.
pride.
That is
Well,
so
for
true.
instance, my dad was an alcoholic, and then my brother became an alcoholic, and then let's see, my brother was a drug addict, my sister was a drug addict at one time. Now my niece is an alcoholic and drug addict, and I was like, the very thing she hated in her father, she became.
Well, that's
There you have
exactly
it.
what, that's what he just said.
It's a deception, and it plays off of a deceptive belief,
Mhm.
and the enemy can attach to that deceptive belief and just play havoc with your life.
And they're not healed most time. Okay, Jack, go ahead.
Okay. So, if I step up and pray for you, I can pray probably till the cows come home until we get that trauma dealt
Yep,
with and
that's
get that
true,
hook
man.
out of there and get that unrighteous vow and unrighteous judgment dealt with. A lot of times, as soon as you do that, you're healed. It'll happen, bang. Well, that takes a little work sometimes. However, if you fall down and break a leg, you just fell down and broke a leg. I'd rather play for injury all day long than I would for somebody who's got this deep trauma issue that you need somebody prophetic there with you, that God will say, whisper in your ear, this happened because blah, 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 and then you dig into it
That's right.
and root it out. Because you need some, what I used to call them, we need some of those softies, those wimpy people with us that get this prophetic stuff, I'm just a healer, I'm gonna come in there and hit that with anointing, bam! But we need some of these real soft-spoken, gentle folks to, we need some of these spiritual wimpy people to come along to get the revelation on what the issue is. Just joking. But, because that's me, just hammer it, But then you go, oh, it ain't working. Wow, okay, gotta dig in.
Because of their soul.
Injury. I was going to Bible college. The instructor in my class was a pastor up in Kentucky. He'd been working that day, lifted some heavy boxes. Jostled, went up, whatever came down on his hand, and broke a couple bones here in his hand. Boxer bones, what they call these. When you box, you hit with these two knuckles because they're the strong, big knuckles. If you hit these two on the outside and catch them, you can break these bones because they're not as big and strong as these bones. So he broken these bones right here in his hand. And he's in a temporary splint until they could cast it after the swelling went down. This is, he just happened that day. And he walks in the classroom and he said, I said, hey, let's pray for that. Okay. Pray for it, Lord. Just, Lord, I ask you to release your healing power. And he walks back. But when we came to class, all the students came together for a devotion, and then we'd all, 30 minutes later, depart and go to our classes. So we're having our devotional period, do a little worship, And 5 minutes later, he comes walking up beside me, walks up. He sticks out his right hand, no more splint. And he says, here, shake my hand, squeeze as hard as you want. It's healed. Broken bones. My nephew and I were working in my backyard, and I was cutting down these English privet that had gotten tall. And I cut them down, they've got like 15 feet near, and I cut them down this short. Whereas these branches, you know, the root branches sticking up. He's like 6'2", 200 pounds, he was skinny then. And he stumbled and fell backwards. And one of those stabs hit him right here in the kidney. Right here in the soft spot of your back, right where the kidney was. And he rolled off of it. He's going, and I reached down and pull up, and I can see the round imprint of that stab, and it starting to turn bruised. I can see it, red and bruising. He said, pray. I laid hands on it. I prayed, and he's going, I'm okay. Took my hand off. The round imprint was gone, and the bruising was gone.
Mm-hmm.
Right then.
Yeah.
He got up, and he's fine.
Mm-hmm.
The girl I told you about at the police department fell off in the wheelbarrow. All pain gone, this one bruise, it was gone. An injury. And I pray for other people with injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Injuries are great. They're easy. I'm experiencing them. It'll be easy because, you know, it's nothing for God, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Okay. All right. Sometimes you have to deal with the issue of if it's God's will. If God's will, He can do it. If it's God's will, pray according to God's will. If He wills it, well, that's the, you know, that's what used to come out from my pastor now. Well, if it's a sovereign move of God, it can happen. Because I'd say, well, what about, you know, what about Paul on the road to Damascus? What about that one? Well, it's a sovereign move of God. It can happen. Well, if you're out here in a denomination and you haven't received healing and you don't know and you've only heard it's all passed away, and maybe heals some, but does He heal all? See, faith can only begin if God's will is known. If you don't know, see, if you don't understand and have the knowledge of salvation, how can you be saved? How do you know it's available to you? How can you have the desire to be saved if no one's ever told you that you need to be saved and explain the way of salvation? The same thing's true of healing. You have to know it's God's will for you to be healed, or that it's available to you before, if you're going to receive it. If it's only God's will for some to be healed, then God would have to reveal it to those individuals before they would have faith to receive it. It's got to rest on His will and not our hopes and wishes. And how many heard, you know, Lord, I want this, Lord, if it be your will. All right, Jesus took care of this in Matthew 8:4. When he had come down from the mountain, great multitudes followed him. And behold, a leper came and worshipped him, saying, Lord, if you are willing, you can make me clean. Then Jesus put out his hand and touched him, saying, I am willing, be cleansed. Immediately his leprosy was cleansed, and Jesus said to him, see that you tell no one, but go your way, show yourself to the priest, and offer the gift that Moses commanded as a testimony to them. Mark 1:40, probably the same thing. Now a leper came to him, imploring him, kneeling down to him, and saying to him, if you are willing, you can make me clean. Mark 1:40. Luke 5:12. And it happened as he was in a certain city that behold, a man was full of leprosy saw Jesus. This is Luke 5:12. This is all the different versions in the different Gospels. You know about the Gospels, right? Matthew, Mark, and Luke. They're called the Synoptic Gospels. You heard that word before?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody? Who doesn't know about synoptic?
I've heard.
Okay. Synoptic means to see the same thing together. It's like if we were standing down here on the corner of Tulane Avenue and the Turnpike, off 2 streets across, right? And somebody comes along and runs a red light and there's a crash. If there's 4 of us are standing there and all 4 of us are on the 4 corners of that intersection, and we all see the same crash at the same time, but we see it from a different angle. You're going to see some things that I'm not going to see, and I'm going to see some things you're not going to see. But when we take our 4 testimonies and put it together, we should have the whole thing, right? So with the Synoptic Gospels, sometimes it'll say, well, 1 person, and then it says 1 blind man, another version says 2 blind men. And you think, what? They're in contradiction. One says 2, the other says 1. There, see that the Bible contradicts itself. No. You're seeing from 2 different perspectives. This guy might have just been focused on the one, when this one saw both of them. And you put the story together. You take all the versions of the same event and put them together, you get the whole picture. Okay?
Yep.
Okay. In Luke 5:12 it says, and it happened when he was in a certain city that behold, a man who was full of leprosy saw Jesus, and he fell on his face and implored him to say, Lord, if you're willing, you can make me clean. And see, the questioning of if it's your will is a widely held belief today concerning healing, and it's seldom preached, especially in the mainline churches. And then some go the other way. If it's God's will to heal, well, we should live forever. Right? You'll never die if you just keep getting healed. But God does not promise us life forever. Psalm 90:10 says, the days of our lives are 70 years, and yet by reason of strength they are 80 years. Psalm 102:24, I said, oh my God, do not take me away in the midst of my days. Ecclesiastes 7:17, why should you die before your time? Hebrews 9:27, and is it appointed for men to die once, but after this the judgment. See, we're promised a full life, and we're also promised a healthy life. If you think about it, there were 3 people that Jesus raised from the dead. Can anybody tell me who they were? Huh? Lazarus?
Tabitha.
Jairus' daughter?
Is that the child?
12-year-old little girl? What was the 3rd one?
Peter.
Oh,
No. Raised from the dead, huh?
Somebody.
Beer, coffee.
Yeah.
Oh, the boy.
Yeah.
that's right.
Little boy, right?
Yeah.
Jesus had just happened to be walking along and a funeral passing by, and he went over, saw the mother weeping, and just out of his compassion, he went over there and laid hands on the coffin, and the boy sits up and said, I'm back. Give me something to eat. I'm hungry. If you think about it, all 3 of those people had died prematurely. They hadn't lived a full life yet.
Yeah.
Okay?